YouTube angeguckt. So, 3 zu 1. Und damit, hey Leute, und willkommen zu einem Video. Und zwar spielen wir heute Stanley Parable. Ja, oder Parable. Ich habe keine Ahnung, wie es ausgesprochen wird. So, ich bin im Call mit der guten Ducky. Was ist? Ja. Ich habe gedacht, für uns spielt heute mal die Ducky. Ja, du entscheidest jetzt. Richtig. Aber du kannst den Untertitel lesen, oder?
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Ich kann nicht lesen, ist crazy.
No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Ja, genau, und du kannst dann quasi alles selbst entscheiden. Ich habe das Game, ich glaube, ich habe alle Enden, glaube ich, schon mal gehabt. Ja. Okay, jetzt kannst du euch die erste Entscheidung treffen.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Ich sag mal so, es hat sehr große Auswirkungen auf das Leben. Er hat nur gesagt, und Stanley ging durch die linke Tür. Du kannst entscheiden, wo du hin möchtest. Okay, dann gehen wir durch die linke.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
So, wollen wir hoch oder runter?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Runter, okay. Bist du schon beim Stream jetzt hier? Beim Treppenhaus? Okay. Ich kann dir auch vorlesen, ne? Okay. Der Rot ist nicht immer tot. Aber Stanley konnte es einfach nicht tun. Er dachte darüber nach, sich seinen Chef zu stellen und zuzugeben, dass die Arbeitszeiten, dafür könnte er gefeuert werden und warum war es Konkurrenzwirtschaft seine... Danke! Es ist so schnell, nur weil er glaubt hat, dass sein Chef würde denken, ihr seid verrückt. Und dann kam Stanley etwas in den Sinn. Vielleicht, dachte er sich, was?
All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went?
Achso, da steht jetzt, Stanley glaubt, er ist verrückt, er kann seine Füße nicht sehen und die Türen schließen sich hinter sich und so. Nein, sagte Stanley, das ist zu absurd, das kann nicht wahr sein. Und schließlich kam er zu dem Fazit, das ihn die ganze Zeit auf der Zunge gelegt hatte. Er hatte nur nicht die Worte dafür gefunden. Ich träume, rief er, das ist alles ein Traum. Stanley fiel ein Stein vom Herzen.
Finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job.
Das ist gut, ne? Sehr motivierend. Ja, das war so.
I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it appeared. It was so much fun.
Können wir nicht? Guck doch. Hier, zack, Tür geht zu.
How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of
Geist
all
getan.
entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself.
Nein, wir können gar nicht zurück, Ducky.
Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Ducky, die Türen kann ich nicht öffnen, die hinter mir zugehen.
Stanley, who found it particularly strange.
Ich kann nicht mehr zur Treppe.
Describing me, thinking about how it's
Die Treppe ist theoretisch wäre sie hier hinter.
He thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams. The truth was that, of course, this was not a dream.
Ja, hier wäre die Treppe.
Was Stanley simply deceiving himself?
Ducky, wir kommen nicht mehr in den Raum, wo die Treppen sind. Diese Räume wiederholen sich, aber nicht der mit der Treppe. Richtig, der erklärt gerade Wahnsinn. Er zweifelte, dass es alles ein Traum war. Hatte die Stimme nicht eben erst gesagt, wie er schwebte? Wie wurde die Stimme also... diese Stimme was Teil seiner selbst. Wenn es nur... Er würde es beweisen. Okay, sehr gut, danke. Ich bin selber überfordert.
So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin.
Alles gut. Ich sag mal so, ich höre das lieber auf Englisch, als dass ich das wirklich lesen muss.
Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Da bist du wieder da, ja, ne?
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss, I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Alles wurde schwarz. Er ist jetzt wahnsinnig geworden. Er hat gedacht, es wäre alles ein Traum und hat versucht zu entkommen.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Jetzt spielen wir Mariella.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other.
Mariella spielen wir jetzt.
She rose, got dressed, gathered her belongings and walked to her place of work.
Okay. Sie lief zur Arbeit und warf sich dies auf einen Körper eines Mannes.
Who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she
Der
knew.
Typ hat offensichtlich den Verstand verloren auf dem Boden.
And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
Ach, sie ist aber davon gelaufen. Hat Stanley nicht gerettet, na toll. Na toll, Stanley ist tot. Ups, tut mir leid. Ja, das war ein Ende. Ein Kackende. Hey!
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Shift? Was ist Shift?
When
Man kann
Stanley
nicht schneller.
came to a set of two
So, Dagi,
open
welche
doors,
Tür?
he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Kannst du sonst Kopfhörer in dein, da wo du den Ton hörst, reinballern?
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Soll ich die nehmen, die erste Tür links? Achso. Der geradeaus, ne? Welche? Okay.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door and got back on track.
Okay, jetzt sind wir in einem Raum und es geht weiter geradeaus oder wir nehmen Fahrstuhl. Okay. Wir haben den Fahrstuhl genommen.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track.
Jetzt sind wir irgendwo unterirdisch. Und der Erzähler weiß auch nicht, wo wir sind.
From here it's left.
Er gibt uns jetzt links eine Tür oder eventuell können wir die rechte Tür nehmen oder so. Ich guck mal, ob das geht. Geht nicht. Wir müssen links lang. Bist du noch da? Ja.
Oh no.
Oh.
No, it's to the right, my mistake.
Er hat zugemacht. Er sagt, jetzt ist doch die rechte Tür.
No, not
nicht rechts, sagt er.
Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking?
Er weiß nicht, wo lang.
It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please?
Oh, er guckt gerade nach dem... Nee, kann ich nicht. Er guckt gerade nach dem Weg. Papier rascheln.
Let's see, we went down, right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Okay, er hat uns einen Weg gegeben. Mit einem Truck, der an ist. Wollen wir den mal angucken, den Truck? Ich weiß nicht, ob man da was machen kann. Nee, es ist einfach nur ein Truck und hier ist ein Zaun. Ducky, wo hast du uns gebracht?
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes. Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay. From the top.
263. Oh, scheiße, ist weg. Nein, er hat es wieder rausgeschmissen. Das durften wir nicht sehen, hat er gesagt.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay.
When Stanley... Wait.
Nee, oh, ist was anderes, Ducky.
No, I
Gibt mehrere
restarted.
Türen
I
jetzt.
definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley.
Okay, Ducky, welche Tür sollen wir nehmen? Alle sind auf.
The story.
Geht, glaube ich, nicht. Wir können nicht springen. Weil das, Doch, man kann springen, aber erst später im Spiel, wenn man einen bestimmten Weg macht. Dann hat man einen Sprung frei. Die hier.
I'll say it.
Okay.
This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before.
Achso, es ist sogar die richtige.
Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I
okay,
find
wo
it
jetzt lang?
unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Oh. Er hat schon wieder restartet. Er hat es schon wieder rausgehauen. Da durften wir auch nicht sein. Was?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps
okay, welchen Weg gehen wir jetzt? Oh, Dougie?
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from.
Hast du den Ton an oder nicht?
Go back the other direction and see if
Mach mal den Ton an, lieber. Das ist lustiger. Doch, hinter uns, ja. Also, ich finde das nicht schlimm.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes. No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this, well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win!
Yeah!
Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations.
Es gibt tatsächlich eine Möglichkeit, das Spiel zu beenden, also richtig zu gewinnen. Aber das braucht keine Ahnung, eine Stunde oder so.
What might happen this time, I have to restart.
Das braucht eine Stunde oder so, weil man wirklich jede Entscheidung richtig treffen muss. Oh, guck mal, jetzt zeigt er uns sogar den Weg. Wollen wir der folgen?
This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line.
Okay.
Just follow the line. How simple is that? You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation?
Bist du schon aus dem Fenster gesprungen?
Moin! Nee, tatsächlich nicht.
Got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
Die Speicherdaten hatte ich gelöscht gehabt und jetzt kommt das nach vorne. Ich laufe richtig, danke. Alles gut. Habe ich versucht. Geht. Warte, Wand einmal hoch. Oh. Geh einmal rein und weiter. Hier, runter und hier. Aber hier. Danke. Ich sag hier das Spiel. Ich treffe die Entscheidungen nicht. Entscheidung getroffen. Von Rugby.
Wait, cut the music. Go back and look at that fern.
Sollen wir zurück oder sollen wir weitergehen?
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh,
yeah.
No, not again. Line, how could you have
So,
done
welche
this
war
to
deine
us?
Nummer?
And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through...
Welche war deine Nummer?
I can't take this anymore, to hell with it. Restart.
Wo ist die? Oh nein, er hat schon wieder restartet. Okay, scheiße. Mann.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Oh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction?
Oh, guck mal, jetzt, der Erzähler möchte jetzt auch in eine andere Richtung gehen.
Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story
Toller
to be?
Weg hier.
Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley.
Aber wir hatten keine andere Wahl. Nein, hatten wir nicht. Alle anderen Türen waren zu. Man kann keine Türen öffnen, die...
No, not you again.
Also man kann welche öffnen, aber die nicht.
I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Ach, that's crazy.
Ah, a choice. We get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay, so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere at the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Ich hab aufgehört. Ich hab aufgehört. Das ist crazy. Oh, Ducky, guck mal.
Oh, hold up, what's this? The confusion ending. You're telling me that's what this is? It's all one giant ending? And we're supposed to restart the game.
Das sind die ganzen Sachen, die wir gemacht haben, Ducky.
That's really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule, I restart again. Then what?
Ja.
Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget?
Lange Zeit später Stanley stirbt.
Simply because it's written here on this thing.
Hier steht lange Zeit später Stanley stirbt.
Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really... No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do it. I won't do it. I won't do it. And the time...
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule?
Ne? Ja.
How would we even know?
Okay.
Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay.
Ja.
I guess now we just wait, you know.
Ja, klar.
I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
Was war das?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content! Let's go, Leute.
New content? What does that mean, new content?
Es könnte auch ein super Horrorspiel sein, muss man ja sagen, ne? Das ist drauf, Alter. Das kann es auf jeden Fall.
And thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Ich finde es gut, dass man so mit den Erzähler interagiert. Egal was man macht, er kommentiert.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Ja!
All right.
Hier kann man springen.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Ich mach's nicht. Ich bewahre die Sprünge auf.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And if... oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is. That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Yay. Okay.
Psst. Stanley, come over here. In the vent. I want to show you something. Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste. And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content. Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise.
Ja. Der Erzähler hat eine Memory Zone gebaut.
These were
Memory Zone, eine Erinnerungszone.
But I wouldn't give to go back.
Von 2013.
All over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Oh.
Oh no, oh God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Im positiven oder schlechten?
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go. Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes.
Wir waren fast eine Stunde weg und er war ganz alleine.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer. And my God, there's no way out of... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right?
Oh nein.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its place is what I can only describe as the collapse of every moment I have ever experienced my entire...
Der Arme. Sollen wir nochmal drücken?
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands that seek everything and are accountable to nothing. We get a world where someone will say, oh, there should be a skip button. You should be able to freeze Stanley in place while the narrator sits there forever and ever. We want all of this in the new Stanley parable. We demand it. And then, because it was said, because it was spoken, now it simply has to happen. The most immediate desires, every single thing demanded by every person at every moment in time. If someone wants it, then it's a crime not to bring it into being. Have we been given to... The end is never the end, 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 is never the
Soll ich rausgehen oder nochmal drücken? Geht nicht. Oh nein.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Sollen wir hier auch mal rein?
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Aber das ist jetzt der letzte Durchgang. Ist der letzte. Weil danach muss ich pennen.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever The Stanley Parable 2. Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for. Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really. Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Okay, wo gehen wir lang? Ja. Ja.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Welchen sollen wir nehmen? Happy 12th Birthday oder Get Well Someday?
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Er hat die andere genommen. Gut, was machen wir jetzt?
Maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
Hier gibt's eine Trophäe anscheinend. Pull the lever, receive your new trophy. No more steps, it just works, okay.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test trophy that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the trophy. Yes, you see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the trophy will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley. But I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Ja, 20 Mal. Ja.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
Willst du verlassen jetzt schon? Wir können da hingehen, wenn du möchtest. Wir können ja, nee, wir können ja hier immer wieder rein. Man muss da irgendwie hoch, warte. Hier gibt's die Treppe, nehmen wir die.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I am happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try. Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Jetzt habe ich einen Eimer.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Here, the button that says the name of the player that is playing the game.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Sollen wir den drücken?
Jim. Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
Ich bin Jim.
If so, then please step forward and press the button. Jim. Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again. Do it again. Jim. It hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the gym button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Jim.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much, Jim. I'm putting the gym button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
Ja, schade.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Ah, hier kommen wir nach oben. Gratis-Trophäe hatten wir schon ausprobiert. Unendliches Loch, Einstellungsweltmeister. Oh, geht noch nicht. Aber unendliches Loch können wir noch mal gucken. Da, Jumping Circle.
You know what, Stanley? I actually think the jump circle was a pretty good idea. I'd like to hang on to that for the sequel.
Nein, dann habe ich die Sprünge doch nicht mehr für nachher im Spiel. Ich habe da stand ja, ich habe nur 30 Sprünge.
Stanley, here's an idea
da
that
steht
I'm
verbleibende
truly fond
Sprünge.
of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole.
Nee, dann habe ich gar keine Sprünge mehr für den Rest des Spiels. Ich habe das Spiel ja schon mal durchgespielt.
You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Das ist das unendliche Loch. Okay.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward. Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
So, wieder nach oben?
Okay, Stanley. I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole.
Ist doch nicht unendlich.
Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
Ich glaube, es passiert nichts. Huh?
Great. Now,
Okay.
I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
Wo stand jetzt New? So, ich glaube schon, ja. Mhm. Ich glaube ich. Das ist, hier waren wir glaube ich schon, ja. Wollen wir jetzt zum Exit? Wo war denn das Exit jetzt nochmal? Hier, Exit. Ja, läuft.
Oh, goodness. Stanley, this is fairly awkward. I hate to do this, but before you leave, you really should go to the collectibles exhibit. You see, there is a surprise I was going to spring on you later, and it involves the collectibles. And I really do hate to break the illusion, but it's important that you go see the collectibles, okay? All right, I'll get out of your hair now. Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Yeah, no.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely
Ja, die
tragic.
sind überall im Spiel versteckt. Was ist das hier?
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features?
Yeah.
Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on, let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go, version 2.
Ja, leider.
Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. with respect,
Das ist ein gutes
with
Spiel.
care for the
Das ist
vision
schon
and
komplett
integrity
durchgespielt.
of the
Also
original
richtige
game.
Enden, alles.
Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction,
nee. Also das ist, wie gesagt, der
is
letzte
the
Durchgang.
Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Du schaffst. Und jetzt, Ducky, guck mal, was wir jetzt für einen Titelbildschirm haben. Ne, jetzt sind wir in The Stanley Parable 2. Gut, aber das war's. Das war's. Na gut. Das war's. Na gut, dann gehe ich offline, ne? Das war's. The end is never the end, 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 the end is never the end. Na gut, dann gehe ich offline. Schönen Tag.